Hi, warm regards to everyone who is watching this video. Today, I will be talking on the topic of operations processes with specific references to design of service systems. Designing of service system is totally different from manufacturing system design. Like manufacturing operations, service operations also involves making choices with respect to the operations location, technology, capacity, and layout of the system. The challenging thing about services operations as compared to manufacturing operations is that the manufacturing operations can have a fixed operation system which is uniform throughout the manufacturing process, and the manufacturing operation systems can be located at one region where all the aspects of the resources like technology, labor, machine, capacity, layout, and all can be fixed. Whereas in case of services operations, all these aspects of operations, like we just mentioned, as location, technology, capacity, etc., has to be brought near to the customer or to the market, wherever the customers are located. So the overall operation systems becomes far more complicated as customer contact or involvement is one of a major aspect among all the resources in the services operations system. I mean, the services operation system is designed around the customer, as in most of the services system, customer participation is a must. Therefore, the main concern in designing the service operation system is the customer element itself, as the customer is taken as an integral part of the service process design. So they're having a major say in the design of the service process, as the service process has to be designed as per their needs and requirement, where personalization and high level of the customization might be required. There are three main elements which majorly influences the process design of service system. They are customer contact, the degree of complexity, and the degree of divergence. Customer contact is the first element which shapes the process design of service system. The extent of the contact and the nature of the customer contact, like how long the customer contact has to be kept in the design during the interaction process between the customer and the server or service provider, how often this customer contact has to be kept, whether it should be a low, medium, or high contact is advisable in the service delivery process will dictate the service process design to a great extent. For example, if the service provider is planning to have very low contact or no contact with the customer, they can design an automated service delivery process which can be delivered remotely by using machines or information technology, or else we can design a service delivery process whereby the customer contact is very high, as in the case of five-star hotels or seven-star hotels. And the level of customer contact will lead to the second element of the degree of complexity. I mean, it's highly correlated between these two elements. The higher the level of contact, the higher will be the degree of complexity. As you design very high service delivery, you will require more resources, and even the process will take a longer time. Capacity utilization of your resources, more number of people, as the service provider will interact with the customers. Third element is the degree of divergence in terms of the process from the standard service delivery process. Again, this depends upon the earlier two elements of customer contact and degree of complexity. Service delivery. As you increase the level of contact with the customer, the degree of complexity of the service process also will increase, and this happens when you try to inculcate more personalization and customization in your service delivery design. Therefore, it means that the more you try to personalize and customize your service offer for each and every customer, the more will be the degree of divergence of the service design process from the standard process in what is followed in the industry. This slide shows three kind of service contact in terms of the intensity: low, medium, or high. Low is also called as quasi manufacturing because manufacturing component is higher than the service component, whereas pure service, the customer contact is very, very high. And the manufacturing content or the tangible content will be very, very low in case of pure service. For example, consultancy services, legal services, health services. The second element of degree of complexity is illustrated in this following slide. It shows an example whereby a comparison of two different kind of airlines is shown with respect to two processes: ticketing and check-in and boarding. In case of full airline, it's seen that there are multiple number of steps, more number of steps as compared to low cost airline. Thus, this shows that there is high level of contact and which increases the degree of complexity too. In case of full fare airline, and in this low cost airline example, there are three steps in ticketing. It starts with providing alternatives and schedules to the customer, and the customer are given the second option to select the schedule and then make the payment. Whereas in case of full fare airline, part of these three features, more features are added in its ticketing service, like seat selection, meal preference, and redemption of miles. Even the check-in and boarding step, low-cost airline is providing only two features in our example, whereas full fare airline is providing five service features. So that means the degree of customer contact and complexity is far more in case of full fare airline as compared to the low cost airline. So this is one of the reason why even the ticket fare of full fare airline are much higher than the low cost airline. This next slide it shows the degree of divergence continued from the previous example of full fare airline and the low cost airline. Depending upon the nature of contact and the degree of complexity, it results into degree of divergence with respect to the service element or the service level that the customer gets from both these two different airlines. For example, in case of online booking, low cost airline, passenger is getting only two benefits like air tickets and insurance, whereas in case of full fare airline, you get full length of extended services apart from only ticketing and insurance, like helping for booking in the hotel, airport transfer, finding a cab for local travel, etc. In case of cabin class selection, in low-cost airlines, you get only one class, that is economy, whereas in full-fare airlines, there is more divergent selections available to the customer to choose from. Not only economy, but club class, first class, business class, etc. Now coming to the service system design, influencing factors can be summarized again: contact, complexity, and divergence. Contact leading to the degree of interaction. Complexity means the degree of labor intensity, and whereas divergence means the degree of customization. Service system design can be summarized as the interaction of these three influencing factors. Now, a very important aspect in service system design is positioning your service. So, depending upon where you want to position your services, your service process design will depend. This service positioning matrix shows the interaction between the degree of labor intensity and the degree of interaction. So this shows one of the way of positioning your service in terms of the degree of labor intensity and the degree of interaction. So if you want to keep the degree of labor intensity low as well as the degree of interaction low, it will lead to service process design for services where you provide no additional services or no frills like low cost airlines, online retailing, e-commerce sites, fast food restaurants whereby there is low degree of interaction, low to mid degree of interaction, and also low degree of labor intensity. On the other hand, you can position your service company with a degree of labor intensity as well as the degree of interaction is very high. As in the case of five-star hotels, seven-star hotels, full-fare airlines, boutique hospitals, etc. After understanding the service system design and service positioning, we can summarize the entire concept into a service system design matrix. Here we take three elements to design this matrix: the degree of customer or server contact on the x-axis, and process efficiency and sales opportunity on the y-axis, on the right and the left side of the slide. So let us try to relate the degree of customer contact with the process efficiency. Let us take the example of services like mail contacts, whereby they contact the customer, make them aware about their offers through emails. They send promotion materials, the prices of their offerings, and even the final sales and payment through email only. So in this system, the degree of customer contact is almost nil. I mean, the physical contact of the service provider and the customer and the physically is almost nil, but the process efficiency is very high. Efficiency in the sense that there are very less errors and the system design is very easy and simple. You can actually contact thousands of even millions of customers at the same time through email, selling bulk, sending bulk emails. So the process efficiency is very high, contacting huge number of customers simultaneously at a point of time. But on the other hand, the sales potential is very low in case of this service, as there is very less human interaction. The impact of the service provider on the customer is close to negligible. And as we move up on the diagonal from left to right, from low to high customer contact, we see that we have services like mail contacts, which is very low customer interaction or contact. Then we have internet and online technology, whereby there is a little more customer contact in terms of online interaction, social media interaction, and chats and all. So virtually, the service provider and the customer can come and meet on the internet. Then we have a little more higher contacts possible in phone contact, more personal contact. Then we have higher face-to-face contact with tight specifications, means very less specifications, but face-to-face contact like fast food restaurant and all, and it keep on increasing the customer contact and the degree of complexity and divergence. Like finally, we'll end up into face-to-face total customization of your services, like providing consultancy service, whereby the process efficiency might be very low. And logically, we can understand this because if we increase the face-to-face contact with individual customer, with the highest customization, we are giving more time to the customer, a single customer. So every customer's needs and requirements are different. So depending upon that, if we design our service operation process, then each and every customer will have a different customer service design process. Therefore, the process efficiency becomes very less, very low. So one process design will work for an individual customer, but won't work for another customer. So the process efficiency is can be said as very low. On the other hand, the sales potential will be very, very high as you are interacting with individual customers' needs and requirements. You are addressing a total solution to a customer, a specific solution related to the customer specifically. So the customer will be more happier as the service provider is addressing their specific need, and so they are able to get more satisfaction and happier, and they would be eager to pay you higher for providing the customized service. Therefore, coming to this slide, we are summarizing the three elements that we have discussed just above in the previous slides. Uh, Firstly, the three parameters which are very essential in shaping the service design process, that is the contact with the customers, divergence of the process, and the complexity of the service process. Secondly, we also have seen the service positioning. And the third point we are yet to discuss is the service blueprinting. So let's go to the next slide. This is an example of service blueprinting for healthcare. Service blueprinting is nothing but though it seems to be a little complicated in this diagram, it's a very simple concept. In service blueprinting, you first start with arranging the sequence of activities which unfolds one after another, beginning with the customer putting out their inquiry about the service till the end where the customer consumes the service and pays the bill and leaves the service delivery process. So let us take this example of healthcare, whereby the customer starts with the preliminary activities. When the customer contacts the healthcare provider, might be a clinic or a hospital, then the customer meets the doctor and take the treatment. Then, after getting the treatment and recovery, the customer leaves the healthcare. Usually, the service blueprinting it shows the flow of steps from the beginning to the end, and every step is connected with an arrow. The entire steps and processes are drawn on a a plain paper on a single page, or might be on a screen of a computer or a laptop. All the steps can be put together. The top layer includes all those steps into three layers or stages where the customer contact happens and where the customer interact with the service provider of the healthcare organization. Like the patient first calls for an appointment to the receptionist, get an appointment, comes to the healthcare place, enters into the reception area, interacts with the reception, asks for the confirms the appointment, and makes the registration on by paying the registration fees. Then the patient might wait for some time until his or her turn comes. Then the patient will meet the doctor. Doctor will examine, detect the causes, and if detected, then the advice will be given to the customer in terms of prescription of drugs and medicines. The customer will go to the pharmacy and purchase the medicines prescribed, make the payment, then walk away from the healthcare premises. So all these activities which is unfolding and where the customer or the patient is participating, it happens above the line of interaction. Then in the middle we have line of visibility whereby the customer doesn't interact with the healthcare service provider, but it's visible to the customer or the patient what's happening in the process flow, like the patient's waiting for his or her turn after reporting to the receptionist and doing the diagnosis or getting the medical tests, blood tests, or sampling done for testing. Finally, the bottommost layer or the third layer consists of the activities where the patient doesn't see. It's below the line of visibility, and in this layer actually all the processes are carried out which are the backup activities or the supporting activities in order to fulfill all the processes and steps which the customer goes through above the line of interaction. So basically these are the back office operations which acts as the connecting link between the activities happening in above the line of interaction and above the line of visibility and the actual processes happening in the back office, and again back to the line of visibility and line of interaction. So the back office processes are like the receptionist checking and confirming the appointment from a register or from the data storage system in the PC computer. The back office personnel who maintains the file of the patients, who do the storage and retrieval of the data of the customers files in the back office process also includes a different set of processes which includes diagnosis of the sample taken and generating the report, as well as a process of maintaining the storage and supply of materials and medicines, and a process whereby billing and payment is processed. So this is an example of service blueprinting in a nutshell, and this is the end of this small talk on service process design or designing of service process. And thank you very much for watching this video. Bye and take care.